because each and every one of us with hearts and open minds today. This is with respect and civility. Listen to what the King is going to relay to us, and that makes it kind of a safe place and everyone concerned. So I just wanted to thank everybody for attending today, and just to let you know what's going on, how the fire started, where it is now, what we expect in the future. And with that, I'm going to introduce our BIA superintendent, some of you might know her, Sheila.
Right. Hey everyone, Sheila Bradford with the BIA superintendent. I'm thankful for showing your duties to me, and so I serve as the agency administrator here to help support folks in fire. We have a really great team there. Many of you know the BIA is as a trustee, we have a federal trust responsibility, fiduciary trust responsibility to the class. And I'm fairly new, and this is my first major fire, so I'm not along the way along and to work with these folks and with council, and we have our BIA internal staff here to support me. So again, the first and foremost is public safety, and of course the safety of our staff. So with that, I'll hand it over, but I just wanted to thank everybody here, thank all the staff here that showed up, and the side. We're obviously working on that. So we're here to support you, make sure that we answer your questions, and that hopefully reassure you. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Tony Shaw, First Night Tribe. Welcome. Thank you for coming. It's going to be special when we have large teams. Just have what our strategy is, what we think give you as much information as we can. Try to push out information, press releases, radio, Facebook, emails, but a lot of times it's certain questions. So I'd like to stop here to give you guys an update on the situation it is and the whole thing. Good afternoon. My name is Ron Spring. I'm the Fire Management Officer with the CSKT Tribes. You all here today. The area that's on fire right now is in the Southport area. The only management tool in there is fire. That ecosystem is all around fire. It's always going to have fire. The area that we're looking at right now where this fire started hasn't seen significant fire for over 100 years. The trees there are extremely tall, spruce trees in the 130-foot range. All the lodgepole pines are hit by bark beetle. It's not dead. It's not lying on the ground. It's standing up there. It's very steep, 60% slope drop. Slope. And it was inaccessible. Started by lightning. We've got a lot of areas in the reservation that look like Stanton, Boyd, and some other, right here outside of your community. And just so you know, we get a fire established in there. Our first priority is the safety of our fire. If we can't engage safely, then we're going to deal with a long-term incident. And that's where we're at today. So I'll turn it over to Bob McCray, operations specialist, and he can fill you in on our initial attack.
Good afternoon, folks. Like Rob says, my name is Bob McCray. I'm operations specialist for the tribe. This fire started roughly 2.5 weeks ago, somewhere in there. Point of origin is lightning strike and it's just blue dot here. When the fire was, when it seen the fire was probably anywhere between about a half acre in size. There was no place to land a helicopter to get resources in. We had to use an old heli-spot that we had for other fires in that area. We decided that we were going to go after it. It's by a lake called No Name Lake, as far as I understand. That's actually the name of the lake. So we inserted 27 people in there. They had to walk from this heli-spot down to the lake and start looking at how they were going to attack the fire. The first priority, because of where it was at, is to build a heli-spot. So if something happened, we could get them out of there because we had 27 people in there. It took some of them an hour and a half to get down. It took others in the neighborhood of Chris 3 hours, 3+ hours to get down to that heli-spot, or that by the lake where we were going to put a camp in and build a heli-spot. Like I said, there was 27 people we inserted in there. A day and a half later or 2 days later, I got a call at 4 in the morning, basically saying the fire is within 100 yards of our camp. I decided that we need to pull those people out. There was no place for them to go other than into the lake, and I didn't think they wanted to spend the rest of the afternoon or day sitting in the lake. So we asked the local national forest and some of our partners to help us. They gave us another helicopter. They gave us a couple heavies. We used our seats and things of this nature to slow it down so we could get those folks out of there. It took us with the 2 ships, about 8 hours. At that time, the fire went from 6 acres. For that, rest. Any questions from me?
How big is it now?
It's approximately 1,000 acres. Thank you.
Hey, hello, people. My name is Arlee. I'm the ICC that took over the fire. At first, we're just trying to make a plan and get things figured out what we're going to do. Because of where it was at, we're pretty sure we weren't going to be able to get people engaged on it until it did actually present itself down. Really get people. So we worked on it with retardant and helicopters, keep it checked while we were working on it. But eventually it started to grow. And, I think one of the points that held for a while, for a couple of days, was about 30 acres. But the entire perimeter was hot. We flew a few times trying to find places where we thought we might be able to engage it and at least get us to hold still for it. Eventually, though, we kept getting those winds. I mean, you guys are familiar with it if you're from town here. In the evenings, the winds will blow downhill off of the mountains. And most times that's nice when it's hot like this. But in this case, all it was doing was pushing it and keeping it hot. And it flew eventually to 130 acres. And we flew it again on that day. That was 2 days ago. It ended up, we had planes probably 10 to 15 feet tall and a lot of places on it. It was so it was kind of setting itself up. And if you know anything about that kind of country, if you get a fire there and it's not put out immediately, it's going to be like some long-term events, and it's going to cover some ground, just like the Liberty Fire did, Mineral Trend. I don't know how many of you will remember these. Jocko Fire, like 8 miles in one ship, and Trenton Sealy. This one, with our normal wind profile, we're feeling pretty good that it was going to stay put and at the very most move east. But we didn't account for the down so winds at evening those hit, it started to move along the top of that ridge that was situated. That next, I had people up there all night watching it, and we flew the helicopter up there the next morning. It was really active. It was the same night that the boulder fire unfolded. So basically, it went from, you look at the map that they gave you, it started here, and Bob and them engaged it. We pulled the people back. It grew to about here, this kind of heel here. And then that night that we had all the activity, it pushed down along this ridge all the way down towards above Hank Adams' place. And so basically we were waiting at that point, couldn't get anybody in front of it, and we flew it with the helicopters looking for places we could do something, and there just literally isn't. Like Ron was saying, the timber is thick, tall, and with a lot of dead components either standing or laying on the ground. So we knew it was going to probably at that point be a long-term event. And one of our meetings, I decided to call for this town meeting so we can talk to people and let you know what's going on. Last night, it grew to, or yesterday afternoon, it grew probably to 700 to 1,000 acres in that afternoon, and you guys, I'm sure, could see it pretty good from down here. It was heading towards Hank's place and possibly crossing in Pistol Creek, and we got a wind switch, which I was pretty thankful for, and it turned it and it headed backwards again. Where it's at now, that leading edge of it is down just right across the river from Joppa Creek. Closest place is maybe 200 yards, 300 yards back there. So yesterday afternoon, we were prepping around the houses. We wanted to try and do above the canal, but given the nature of fuels in there, we just there was just too much work for the resources we had, and we weren't sure we could hang on to that. So we made the decision to go right off the main Joppa Road and start triaging, working on the houses to save them. And we're still doing that as we speak. We've got quite a bit of equipment and personnel up there cleaning all the brush and stuff along the road, getting it ready in case we have to burn it out. Best case scenario, depending about the rain, it'll hold it up on that slope for a good long time, and maybe it'll stay back with the normal direction, it's ready to go back east. But after seeing what I saw, more than likely it will come out at some point. At least the rain gave us a pretty good window to work, and so we're going to work on it and get it prepared and ready. If we have to burn it out, it should be a lot easier on us, and hopefully we won't lose any structure. I would say this is going to be one of those ones that we'll probably be dealing with it until snow, that kind of deal. So I should prepare, pretty much like Liberty, you see a column in the days, and at least at that point it was well up into the south fork. But this one's actually out on the space. Any questions so far? Anything?
Did you say that it's down in the valley? Or is it still up?
It's still up on the, where Hank's house is, that point that's above him. It's got to there and then it turned, so it went back towards the Joppa Prairie. So about a mile away from the structure.
I'm loud.
We're hoping. Yeah, keep it away from home. And as far as that goes, we talked about it, and I made the decision to go ahead and close the entire Joppa area for the safety of people. Plus, we're doing an operation in there, and the last thing we need are people seeking in, so we don't know about what's happening with that. The The other option we could do is finally get down to Jockle Ferry, Hammer, and head towards North Fork. So that area was closed off. Just trying to keep everybody out, just to keep everyone safe and not have any issues. So we can attack the fire when we have it.
Adequate air support available for you or for us?
Yeah, what we're doing is hitting it to keep it checked up, to keep it up the slope there while we're working down below. We're really blessed with having this rain right now because the retardant and stuff, it slows it down, but we can't get any equipment or people up in there to actually build a line on the edge of that. So it's gonna eventually burn through it, but we're using it to hold it up on the slope until we can get all our prep work done. And then when it does come down lower, we have a trigger point of about probably quarter mile or so, then we'll have to probably engage it and do a burnout. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen. You know, I'm hoping we get some more rain in the meantime. But we'll keep working on it and kind of securing our perimeter on it. So when it does do something, we can actually get something done with it. So it's not threatening it. But
The news this morning said that it's gonna get back up in the 90s the next couple of days here. Then by the weekend, we're supposed to drop down to the 70s. A lot of wind with that weather change, and is that going to?
more than likely, the thing that's good is estimating probably in the neighborhood of 2/10 of an inch of rain, which is pretty good. So it'll take us a few days to dry that back out. And the unfortunate part is we've had such a dry year that all those larger fuels are completely available to the fire once it reaches them. They normally, all we do is char the outside and the inside would be kind of moist yet, so it wouldn't tend to get so hot. But right now, those larger lots are just as dry as the smaller material. So it takes a little longer to burn, but it's catching quickly and staying burning rather than going out.
Are the prep work you talked about, is that clearing access roads and stuff like that?
More of clearing trees and brush that are anywhere near the homes and kind of build us a little defensible space that we can light off of. So that once as it's coming down, we'll light that and it'll move up slope and push into it and stop the spread. At least that's what you hope. It all depends on the wind and other factors.
That's a good point.
Now, I won't say it's foolproof by any means, but at least it gives us a chance to do something with it so we can keep our firefighters safe and keep the people that live with us. Any other questions?
All right, want to tell them about the fuels treatment there at Big Knife? If we turn the corner that way, and then something to talk about. Oh, sorry.
I was asking where your trigger point is.
Basically, my trigger point is going to be about a quarter mile. Once it's a quarter mile from the bottom, we'll get people lined up, our water show going, and we'll fire it and start bringing it up down in. The thing that we have in our favor, Ron brought it up, is we have these areas that we've treated at the bottom of the hill here, right under Dancing Boy, and all along the base of the slope on into Findlay. We've got those areas prepared, and we were going to burn them ourselves. But if it gets there, we can use that ground to moderate the fire behavior, get it caught there. There are more roads down in that area. Plus, we have the canal, and we've removed a lot of the fuel, so we'll still get fire, but it's not going to be the fire that's catastrophic. We should be able to handle it.
What happens if it runs east?
I hate to say it, but oh well. It's got 3 or 4 old fires, including Liberty, that are east of it. So it's kind of what we call catcher's mitt. It'll burn to there, it'll hit them, and it'll probably moderate and just skunk around. We had the Mineral Prim was one, Bowles Meadows, Liberty Meadows, and Jocko. So they're all got that east flank pretty much covered. The coming downhill to the valley bottom here, or to the Jocko Canyon, is the worst case scenario, and we're kind of dealing with that. The other one would be if it moved north. Jammer's in the process, so if it does switch that direction, I don't know if you've been around there, but Jammer is very dry this year. If we get anything on that south slope of it, we're going to be on that road going up to North Fork trying to stop it there. And then from there, eventually it'll hit rocks or go off the reservation, which we don't want.
So we have looked at alternate areas on the east with Bulls Meadows access there, hopefully opening that road up, trying to prep that up in case it did move over the ridge as far as by Forest Lake and Bulls Meadows. That would be an area where we could potentially ride off back towards it and stop it at that. So our main focus is to keep it above Jocko and keep it, Bulls, try to corner it in that area right there. We initially, like Art said, we initially thought it was going to go east. And that was the perfect plan for it. So it didn't hurt any home structures, anything down the valley, anything especially towards Nancy, is where we wanted to make sure to keep it from. But like Art said, with wind shift, downwind, thermal belt, the type of year situation we're in this year, it's unbelievable feels up there. 10,000 hour fuels or lightning just like that. We haven't seen conditions like this for a very long time. Obviously, the fire hasn't been in there for 100 years, and now we know 100 years ago probably how it burned. So we're trying to deal with that, and as I said, very steep, very downwooded grade, root rot, mistletoe area. So even the green trees are falling over. It's not, you put a little bit of fire on that, you put a little bit of wind on it now, and with rain, those trees will come down even easier. And so firefighter safety is a huge impact for our decision making on this fire. We wanted to call it kind of a confined strategy, not necessarily 100% suppression based on those tactics. We don't have one something like that. We can throw all air resources we can at it, but the drops, target, everything at it. But like Art said, it just eventually chews right through that target and start burning. Especially if it hits those down hard fields. That water, bucket of water, doesn't put a log. It'll put a grass out, but it won't put the log. So what it'll do is it'll sit it down, slow it down for a little bit, but eventually once the sun hits it again, wind hits it again, it's going to come back up to life. So all it's doing really is buying its time. And we weren't, this part wasn't the only show in town at the moment. You guys heard it all. So most of our resources got over there, drug over there, to handle that situation. Now that we've got a team into that area, we are now pulling our local resources more back, since they have the capability and power to order more resources for our area, to be able to handle that fire situation for us. And a lot of our resources are our local people are now coming down here to help our track this area, and hopefully continue to where it's at. But just to paint a bigger picture for you.
I think a couple other key points, Tony's and I have been talking about this, but it's really, it's on a lot of other agencies' window, they want to know what's going on. The local national forest wants to know what's going on, the state of Montana, the community of Seeley Lake, Placid Lake, really interested in this. And so is our Arlee little bar club. There's some agencies that have interest and want to know what our plan is. So we're trying to pull everybody in. The sheriff's department have Dawn on key. If evacuations do occur, they understand how that's going to play out. And really working on that. So I just got off of a Teams call with the state, the local, talking about things, about this fire, and they're really interested. So we're providing that update. The other cool thing is, like Bob mentioned, when we needed aircraft, the Lolo National Forest, the Bitterroot National Forest, that Thorn Creek fire over in Thompson Falls, Scott Trent, they sent us resources. In fact, we got a strike team engines up the canyon today from the Bitterroot, and we had them here yesterday. So a lot of the interagency partners, although We're not broadcasting, it's not on tape. They are really providing the support, so. Art's taken a big burden. This is a huge lot to manage, to think about. A lot of decision points. When do I write it? All the implications regarding that. And really appreciate the efforts Art's putting in. We got Big Rob McCray up there, and he's working with Art and getting some good experience, and then looking at this, how we're going to manage this type of fire. Because this is not the last time we're going to do it. These fires are going to happen. In fact, we talked about it. If we put this one out, we got another fire 2 weeks, later underneath it, that one will take that. So it's really, it's a management decision, something we got to understand. Fire is part of the system. We need to do fuels work, do mitigation work, work around your homes. If you live in an area like this, because you never know what year, what fire is going to come down towards it. Will firefighters are going to be able to really think about that? I guess if you live up that canyon, some of those things you got to think about. Do your protection. We saw that firsthand. Just a few minutes. How big of a difference that makes in terms of your ability to protect in a fire.
I really appreciate the information, and that as far as management goes, we're in good hands. My personal question, in addition to working around my house, which I'm doing best I can, how in the hell do you get out of here, get out of your way when the time comes to run, if it does? And the notification, the rules, how to stay out of your guys' way when we're from loose out here, if we do, which I'm not expecting.
Yeah, we can, I was just gonna answer, we'll do our best to work with the rurals and with law enforcement so that we can get you out of there in a timely fashion. We don't want to have a lot of people back in on these roads and stuff that, where we cut you off or you guys are in our way. We try to recognize, we're trying to watch it, and when it gets to a certain point, that's why we have trigger points. If it gets to a certain spot, that tells us, okay, it's made it here, this is what we got to do next. We get to something else, like if it finally gets to that quarter mile, I'll have people ready there. We'll get everybody engaged and we'll burn it out. And hopefully by pushing it back up the hill and into itself, we should be able to keep it from doing too much damage.
I'm Sheriff Don Bell, I'm Sheriff from Lake County. When you're saying you want to stay out of the way of these guys, they're going to be up there. I'll tell you, I've been working on the fire up at Finley Point. The gentleman, the first house that was lost up there, as he's driving away, he watches it burn through his place. Do you want to be that person? Because he could easily, I'm the coroner also for the county, I could be examining him and sending him to the crime lab. We don't, that may sound extreme, but that was 15 seconds. That's 15 seconds. So we're asking you, we're going to ask for information from you today, for you to sign up, emails, some phone numbers, some information so we can get a hold of you. We have a rapid thing that we can put your phone numbers in there and it will send to everybody that is going to, you are at stage 1. You need to be, in each step, you need to be prepared to get out. When these guys tell me, we need to get you out, we're going to send that out. But before that, if it's just, we're getting you prepped for it, we can come door to door, but you need to be ready to go. If you got 10 minutes or you want now to pack your bags, you want to be ready, you want to have, so I don't know what you want, but you need to be ready to go before that happens.
I assume you're better than UPS because they couldn't find me on the delivery the other day, but that's why I want to get on this.
That's why we want to get it beforehand.
How many stages of the evacuation is there?
Well, we generally work with 3. So you got notification there's something, and then you can have a pre and then evacuation.
Ready, set, go.
Ready, set, go. So there's really 3. up there, when we were having people, it wasn't mandatory. We were still suggesting people, you really should, you should prepare. Because frankly, you have a freezer full of food up at your house, and now you're gonna be gone for a week. Well, some of those folks would have emptied the freezer, put it back in the pickup, refreed the freezer, and took off, because they didn't have power for a couple days. So if you can do these kind of things to prepare for the worst, and all you have to do is it sits in the back of your pickup plugged in, and it never gets to you, well, you just got an hour of work, but you didn't lose a freezer. So, you know, I'm really worried about people, but frankly, you know, that's a lot of investment. So if you can have stuff prepared, valuable stuff, we got people that want to go back to their house to get their jewelry. I get it, but up there, we're getting, people want to come back, and now we got to take a fire truck and send them in to escort them in, only for life sustaining things. We don't do for the trivial, but if we can, if you can give these guys the tools to help me to protect you guys, that's what part of the thing we're asking for today, right? We're asking for information from you, and solid, good information, solid, good phone numbers and emails, correct? So we can help you guys.
Yeah, one of the,
Another bill on that, it's not ready, set, go, it's more likely to be ready, go. So right now, you're ready, if you're in that canyon, and, you know, because people are busy, there's probably not anybody to do 3 steps. Art will make that call. You know.
yeah, bear in mind, you know, we were doing the work up there, but if that thing had not changed, we would have already been at that fire and off that upper portion of that canyon where the first house was. But we lucked out, the weather changed and it turned and it went a different direction, and that gave us more time. Plus, we got everybody, we had them up there all day working on it. Kind of the thing I would suggest to you guys is make sure you know, think about what you would need to take with you if, you know, if you did have to evacuate. So one of the best things to do is remember all your memories and stuff, your pictures, that sort of stuff. Any important papers you have, make sure you have those. And then after that, valuables, maybe clothes and stuff. But just be ready, have it packed up and ready by your door where you can just grab it, throw it in your vehicle, and leave. You know, you don't want to be out there messing around with that stuff while it's coming at you. You know, you'd rather just get it in your vehicle and be gone. So if you are up in the canyon, I would suggest you kind of prepare for that. We're not sure what it'll do once it dries back out again. Hopefully it'll do what we thought it was going to do, go east, but that's no guarantee.
I'd like to, you know, I was talking about the operators, you know, we talked about the road, sheriff's office. Arlee Rural Fire Department is with us as well, and Big Rob met with Jim Steele, Drew Henderson, and they talked about this fire. It was a long time ago, we pulled it through. Anything you guys are, Charles, okay. So the other night, we're getting whooped up on the fire up at Boulder. You know, I paged out, I called up Drew direct, I said, hey, go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, so as he said, they did take us out. We had at least we had 3 engines, 15 staff altogether. We did pull a couple of our EMTs just to be safe, to make sure one of our firefighters were safe too, as well as if anything happened to anybody while they're moving around up there. Did pull, go through and do our structure protection. That's one of the big things when they asked us to come up is one of our biggest things that we're going to do is try to do as much safe structure protection as we can. If it is not safe, obviously our key first piece is to make sure our firefighters and safety personnel are safe. When they do give orders to do evacuations, we will come and do a face-to-face. We'll try to get your attention, knock on your door, bang on it. We'll do as much as we can to get your attention, okay? If you're not there, we will try to verify 100% as much as we can that you're not there. We'll leave you a note and we'll flag the front of your gate with the flag, we were there, then nobody's there. So if you come home after we've been there and you see a flag, immediately call the number that we've given you on there, work it out. Usually it's a random. We did mutual aid the night before for the Boulder fire, and it also helped Pinley Point evacuate Pinley Point. It is not a standard color; it's whatever we can really get. It could be what we call mass casualty tape. It'll just be a string of tape, and it could be red, it could be green, it could be yellow. At the Pinley Point, we have some departments tying masks on the front of stuff. Sometimes it's whatever we have at our disposal at that point. So not to give you, right? Yeah. We did have a few shirts and socks, I'm not gonna lie, on the way back. We did what we can to try to make sure, at any point, you know, we will bring you back. If somebody is a resident, you feel you want to stay, even though we strongly disagree, we will let the sheriff's office know, we'll repeat your information, your phone number, all of your information, so that they can contact you directly.
We will come there and ask for an extra kid.
Yes.
That's what we come to do. And you're giggling, that is the honest to be the truth. When we come in, you refuse to leave, and their suggestion that the fire's coming, we're gonna ask for the extra kid, and we can notify.
Yeah, correct.
I'm completely serious.
So
As the corner of the county. That is,
yeah, the thing if I were running at, well, I think one person out to get that. And what I will do is if you come to your house, well, these guys come by, I'll do a double flag, 2 different colors to show that there is somebody's there, so it identifies it, and that's how we do it. Your Arlee Fire Department is here. We do have staff who are all volunteer. These guys will, when we're paged out, it'll take a couple minutes for them to get assembled. We do have a pretty darn awesome crew that will do the best they can to help support and make sure that your structure is safe. Okay.
One more thing, just so you guys know for a fact that what we got going on up there, once we let everybody go for the day, most of the crew, so they can go eat and get some rest, we will have a night shift there, which could be 1, 2 engines. Like last night, I spent the night out there to give the guys a break, but we do that so that we have a presence there all the time. So if something does happen, and it starts to wake up and move and stuff, they can call dispatch, and dispatch can call us and get us back out there to engage. But it's just a kind of a safety measure and something to kind of help you guys have a little bit more peace of mind.
Also, Art, could I add too that this building right here is a designated shelter, and it's certified by Red Cross. So this would be the place that you'd want to come to. And hopefully by the time I got that information and we have Red Cross here, we'll have some kind of info thing set up too.
Anything else?
I thought I heard one of these gentlemen mention something about Big Night Canyon, but I didn't hear what was said about that. Somebody say something.
Oh, Big Knife, what we're calling Big Knife, what we're talking about is we had a lot of project work that was done right between the canal and the base of the main steeple portion of the hill. And we're hoping to get in there and do some burning in the spring and maybe very late in the fall. But what that's designed to do is to get the ground fuel and stuff down to a lower level, make the trees healthier so they can withstand attacks from bugs, that sort of stuff. But it's kind of to reduce the fire danger. And Big Knife, the drainage, each one of these drainages has a stream in it, and like there's Agency, Big Knife, Finley, Oak Creek. But basically, we looked at it all, and the only place that we can do any work is down low right now. So, but yeah, I mean, hopefully that answers the question.
Did you reopen the Boulder City Road?
We are probably going to end up doing We were gonna do it because we thought it'd go east, and that was gonna be our line. Problem with that was it headed west, so it's still identified as one of our next places we're gonna do work. But for right now, it's kind of on hold. Oh. There. Not, I can't be, most of the time when you fight these fires, even when they make a big push, it's very rarely find animals dead in there. So they usually, once in a while you do where they got shot somewhere, but for the most part, they're fine.
On the, we see. Smoke.
That's in, all right, anybody that wants to get on the reverse 911 list up here, name, address, email, phone number. As close as you can. Any more questions?
So you also, we are putting out updates on this incident, on this fire. It's, we're building out a site called Insweb. And so you can look at it on Insweb for our updates. And if you sign up on your sheet, we'll use your email addresses and add you to those updates. So you can get information when we push it out. So it serves a couple different purposes. And that notification, that electric sign up that was just mentioned, that is good for emergency notification. So not just this incident. If you have another fire in the future, it's a great proactive way that law enforcement uses to push information to you for emergency situations. So, and we'll be providing that information too more frequently. We'll be talking about that up on the Boulder fire. And so just let you know, it is what the purposes are for that we welcome that input if you'd like.
Next.